We're gonna talk about things like sisters today. Oh, sorry, I'm still singing the intro stuff.
I'm so confused as to what's happening right now.
What's going on, everybody? Apparently, also, we have insanity amounts of ads to start the show. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we got a little, as I roast over the open fire again, because, like to burn my weight off, I guess.
Bradley, we should have left the balloons up because tomorrow is Kyle's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Kyle. He's somewhere between 30 and 80. I have no idea. I actually said this. I set it up for normal view, and then I was like, I kind of want to put somebody over the fire today. So, Brian, looks like you're going in.
It's all right. It was only in the mid 80s here today. It wasn't too bad. need to warm up, I guess.
All of the goodness, all of the time.
Did we get a fun drop today or what, guys?
We had tons of stuff. We've got MetaWatch talking about the Pariah Nexus missions with Josh and company. We've got the sisters. We've got the Zealot, the Penitent Engine detachment. We've got the Burn Baby Burn rocking out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we've had some more stuff on that. You know what I mean? We talked a little bit about GSC earlier in the week. It's we get a lot of stuff coming out, man. And then we've also got the fact that we're going to get double codex, new missions, and a data slate. I mean, that's the people's elbow. Shit's changing. That's all I'm saying.
You're missing the most important announcement, Brad.
What?
The most important. The new Pariah Nexus deck has 69 cards.
My bad.
There may be a dev joke in there somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Strangely silent on Servo Skulls. Zoobs, Servo Skulls is getting kicked into the sun. I feel like
they did imply that there's like 4 missions going away. So
yeah, there's no way that's going to make it, since the community as a whole went, yeah, no. Just like
I think my favorite part of that entire video was when he goes, and Chilling Reign was getting used a lot, and we were like, yeah, because most of the other secondary submission parts were kind of not good.
They were either the problem with a lot of the side things is, with most of them, there's a couple that were fine, is they either had too strong of effect or they had no effect. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, yep. This doesn't, it had there's a couple of them that were just so like nothing that you played with them and then went, oh yeah, I forgot to do this because it doesn't do anything, so I don't care.
Well, my favorite was the auto no deep striking on objectives. That was my favorite.
That mission. I lost a tournament because of that.
Yeah. And one thing that you can say you'll never forget is to like and subscribe to this channel.
Boom!
Because it helps our metrics, and throw in a comment.
Look at Brian doing that at 2 minutes. Brandon and I did that at 63 this afternoon. We're right on top of it.
Like a boss.
But I would like to see that the secondary missions, the bonus, Chilling Reign, whatever the hell that is. I'd like to see those actually be used more often, like he was saying, and have an effect that's fair and bad. You know what I mean? Like, interesting. But also, like, I don't think that those should be super random. Like, they want you to just shuffle the deck up or anything. I think that they should go with certain missions because they just make more sense with certain things, not just this on top of this.
So what do you think the default will be? That's the thing I'm curious about. Because if they don't have Chilling Reign.
Oh, Matt, come with the $5 super chat. Just repent now. The nuns are here. Looking at you, OC Zero whooping. You know what you did.
If they go down in points.
Yeah. I mean, if OC Zero stuff all goes down in points, it's gonna make them interesting. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna pour one out for the Biovore because he's probably not gonna be in a ton of lists now.
When you say ton, you mean 0.
We did pour one out for Monic today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that thing's not
he's very sad.
Anywhere. They're like, hey, what does this thing do? Nothing.
It's got a neural fire that could possibly do mortal wounds. That's about all it has.
Like, if you high roll somebody, you can do 2 mortals. Good job.
Yeah.
The
Probably
Spore
not.
Mine finally broke his laptop.
You know, and I'm happy with that though, because I was always back and forth with things that are OC0 being able to do anything. The whole reason that they're objective control 0 is because of the fact that they're not doing actions. They're not supposed to be doing actions. They're not supposed to be holding objectives. You know, there was a reason why the Nurglings had the old keyword of untrustworthy. So, you know, things are just not. But again, your swarms are working on their laptops, working out the angles.
But I mean, if they take those things that are OC0 and bring them down into cost to where they're usable, but yes, we know what they're not going to do, they'll still see the table.
Oh yeah, I mean, if they just bang. I mean, right now people are taking Woofing for low cost, just punch. They're taking.
I mean, if Crude Hounds go down to 25 or 30 points, like I'll take 3 squads.
Screens are screens, man.
Yeah.
And Nurglings still have a hell of an ability.
No one cares about Nurglings doing actions. I mean, it did make them even more valuable, but like the fact that they can either screen or sit right behind somebody and give you that nice -1 to hit. Death Guard's always like, we'll take all of the Nurglings to make you a grand total of -2 and just auto win melee combats. Kyle came in with a super chat to give himself a happy birthday. Happy early birthday, Kyle. You're way better at 40K than I am, and also you're wildly handsome and so tall. You know what? I agree.
I feel like Brad should be sending him money, not the other way around.
Well, you're definitely going to have to send me some money if you want me to say that.
Paint Celestine,
I love it, Clip.
correct on that one.
It's a $5 that's worth it to have that forever, basically.
And clips. Yep.
In a chat before too long.
I love it, Paint Celestine. Are you telling me that spore mines aren't suitable for complicated tasks that involve opposable thumbs and probably a laptop?
Yeah.
So before we've kind of hinted at it already, but why don't we go through what the actual changes were that were discussed at MetaWatch?
Let's do it.
Do you have them all pulled up, Brad, or do you want me to pull them up?
I obviously want you to pull them up.
All right,
man. I mean, I do have them pulled up, but I still want you to pull them up.
All right. Well, I have them pulled up, so I have the Cliff Notes version. So actions are not clearly defined. You can't action while battle shocked.
Let's
cannot
pause real quick on that, because that's I don't want to blow over that one, because that's right there. That's huge in and of itself, because right now could you advance and do actions? Everybody put assault things on their units so that you could advance and do actions. You could action inside of combat. You know, you have pistols or you're a monster, and all of those were kind of vague and gray a little bit, and they slowly, but I like the fact that he said it will specifically state what can action, how it can action, when it can action. I like clarity so much. Brian, I'm assuming you love clarity because you run tournaments and judge tournaments.
The clearer it is, the better.
I'll be real with you. I don't think I've ever actioned with something that was battle shocked.
I've seen it done. And every time someone calls me, I've gotten called over for it more than I care to think about. And I have to go, yeah, sometimes they make dumb rulings.
Yeah, but this is why, though, because I can see why people would say that. I don't completely agree with it, but like, if you have a stratagem that says you can go shoot if you fall back, and things of that nature, sometimes, you can't use it if you're battle shocked. But I'm just saying, like, when you fell back and stuff, and they said you couldn't do actions, the strat said you might be able to, and I'm hoping they clear that up. You know what I mean? So if you can fall back and shoot because of a strat, can you do actions now? You know, list all those ways down, make it perfectly clear. I would love to have a wildly redundant document that is super easy for everybody to say.
It's nice that they did a very smart thing, and I give them a credit for this one because they get bashed a lot. Going, hey, when this comes out, we're doing the update, we're doing the data slate, we're doing the Minotaurum points manual, we're doing an FAQ, we're doing a tournament companion all at once. It means the meta with 2 codexes and everything else hitting at the same time 100% changes that day, which is great.
I do love the fact that we're basically saying ATC click grenade. Because, man, we've been practicing for ATC, and now you're like, so there's going to be a couple things that are different now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, think about it. It's huge. We got missions, we got secondaries, we've got a data slate, and we've got 2 codexes. That's a lot.
Oh, but it does specifically say that Titanic characters can still shoot in action.
Yep.
Which is a very weird carve out, but whatever.
It's a good way to make big knights playable. Not saying it's going to change them in the meta a ton, but at least makes them playable. It allows you to go, I don't want to waste 400 points of my armies to deploy a teleport homer.
But when you're doing those actions, you're generally in bad positions that you probably don't want your knights in. So I don't really know how often it's going to come up.
Oh, RTT on the 30th using the new sisters. I love that. There's not
Bring
that many
the
people
action monkey wraith knights.
All I'm saying is there was only one person that had the big enough balls to go, I'm running 10th edition on GT on the weekend it goes live. And I was Mr. Pariah. We just sold the first Salt City.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks after.
Oh, it was 1 week. It's 1 week.
That's right. It was 1 week after.
1 week. They released it on Saturday. You went the 1 week from that. You played the tournament game.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm a big fan of it. I'll be doing the same with AOS 4.0 with Salt City. Not knowing the release date for that yet, but I'm going to assume the middle of July, and we're the middle of August. So by the time it gets out, gets in hands, it's going to be a really early on GT for it.
I've said forever, I know it's a pain in the ass for tournament organizers and stuff like that and judges, but man, nobody wants to play with the old shit, you know. Yep. And it's just nice to play with all your new toys, with all your new rules. It's fantastic. The morning of Salt City. No, that was right after.
That was right after they nerfed him.
I didn't even bring a Wraith Knight to Salt City because I thought it was jacked. I didn't bring the Wraith Knight. I didn't bring the Incarn, and I still didn't play Eldar after that because of the fact that I thought they were so whack. I don't know if anything's been so whack just coming out of the gate. Usually we get the broken shit at the end, not the beginning.
All right, well, let's keep talking about all the changes, Brad.
Yep.
So they're introducing a new deployment zone because apparently diagonal deployments are harder to measure.
I mean,
they're going to have they're going to have an L-shaped deployment zone.
Yeah, but I hate L-shaped, to be honest with you. I'm assuming they're keeping Crucible because they said it was popular. Crucible shows up all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, the one I dislike is the one I think they're getting away with it, which is sweeping engagement.
Let's see. There's new primary and secondary missions.
I'm super excited for this.
And sites of powers changing.
Well, it's not going to be based on characters, is what he said specifically.
Yeah, so it's changing.
Right. I like that a lot, though, because of the fact that I was worried about this because AOS is super unafraid to just go, hey, you need to take giants now, or big shit, or small stuff, or characters. You know what I mean? They have whole tournament seasons where you have to take your battle line stuff, you have to take big stuff, you have to take whatever, because the missions are very heavily pushed to that.
Let's see, gambits are gone. Now they have secret missions.
I mean, gambits have just changed.
So, Brian, I have a question for you. Do you think secret missions are going to see play at tournaments?
I think when you see people who go, all right, I'm playing a horde army, I'm playing an elite army, I really am not going to get enough secondaries to win this game. I might be able to knock them off to hold them to 40. If I have 20 on turn 3 and I can gamble away, it might be worth it. I think it's going to see play here and there. It's going to be when you are in a losing position. It's either, hey, look, I lose bigger or I potentially win the game. I think they're going to see a little play. I don't think it's going to be a lot.
Will they even be allowed? Because there's some tournaments nowadays that don't even allow gambits.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be fine. I think allowing them will be fine because you get to pick it. You're literally going to pick it, take a card, put it right on the center of the table or somewhere, and go, that's it, right? That's what I'm going.
But
for.
Also remember, you can only max it at 40. So that's it's a comeback mechanism, but it's also not a YOLO swaggins. So if you just play, what I don't want, people don't want in general, is your opponent just rolling random boxcars or whatever, on a gambit right now, and getting maxing the score on primary. Now you can't. So if you are winning and you continue to win, you will still win by 10 points. You know what I mean? Because your opponent cannot get 100; they can get a 90. So.
Yep. And you can only do it if you're behind, right? If you're up and you're like, oh, I'm just going to do it because it's funny or something. No, you have to be behind to do the second, the secret mission.
I mean, we have to see how it's worded, but I just feel like it's open to abuse. Anything where you just put your card face down says, if I achieve this mysterious thing,
you have to put it in the thing is you have to basically, tournaments themselves just have to say, if you're going to run a secret mission, it goes right here. You know what I mean? And you put it on a piece of terrain, you put it in the middle, you literally put it out. Nobody gets to fuck with it.
We've never had a tournament where somebody accidentally bought models over a terrain,
but I'm just saying,
or threw dice in weird spots.
Sure, but
it's just open to abuse.
If you're playing a goddamn magician that can fucking manipulate the cards, I guess you're fucked. You know what I mean?
So the way I would look at it is an honest player, and I'll be straightforward. It's an honest player is going to hand the mission card, hand the thing to his opponent and go, here, put this face down.
Just give it to your opponent, dude. It's not even that big of a deal. Just go, here is the card.
Put it face down under your dice tray.
And then you're like,
face under your side of the mix.
I mean, then he goes, look inside your jacket pocket. You're like, oh shit, it's been there the whole time. Corey's got a good point, and we actually talked about this. He's like, gambits and teams could be very different because of the differential scoring. And Sean, Dice with Rice, we were talking in chat today, where he was talking about, can we make, when we get everything live, of course, and we see them, can we focus any of our team armies to specifically deny secondary? You know what I mean? Just shut down secondary scoring because of the fact that you can just try and smash that gambit secret mission. You know what I mean? In turn 3. And remember, he stated specifically, you actually have to be losing to do a gambit. So if your plan is to use the secret mission, I hope you're losing by at least 1, because you got to be losing to use it at all.
I mean, so you're going to be down by...
When does losing get determined, though? So is it determined at the beginning of the player round, or your player turn?
The way it's worded.
Okay.
At the end of turn 3, if you are the player with the lowest primary scoring, you may then choose to forego scoring any more of the primary of that mission. And then you may attempt to score a secret mission. You choose one of the secret missions, keep it hidden from your opponent, and at the end of the game, you have to reveal the secret mission. If you score it, you score up to a maximum of 40 points. So the points you already had, this will score you 20. But if you had 24 going in, then this would only score you 16.
I like these a lot, though. I mean, I didn't like the gambits. I like the idea of these a lot, because just imagine you're playing a Green Tide, a Swarm, anything that's going to take the primary early and probably deny you, GSC, and you're playing a Bang army that's putting down the Thunder. You can literally beat the shit out of that army, then smash down a secret mission, take your opponent's home, do whatever, table or close to table that army, and still keep the score super close and or win the game there. And I think that's a cool option. You know what I mean? So you just don't go, cool, I didn't score for 2 turns, the game's over, which it is right now.
As Meta Monday points out, you've had to have scored 20 points or less in primary at the end of turn 3. So I mean, you can't, you're really capped, because a lot of the times if you're going for this, you're already behind in primary. So you might be at 16. So you might be only able to score 34 or 36. It's going to be an interesting go for it kind of thing of, I think I can deny you enough. If I get this, I can get close, or I can get really close.
That's what I'm saying. What Tori said. I think it might be a big deal in teams, especially. You know what I mean? Because in teams,
this makes the Kion detachment even better.
Yeah. And because you could just, because you're picking their opponent's army up, but you're not doing it till later. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Matt O, the big thing of get a battle line unit into your opponent's deployment zone. If they choose that one, they're really going to be forecasting what they're doing. If they're all of a sudden going, I'm holding this one venom back with witches in it or something, and you're like, okay, I see what you're going for here to get a couple units behind that needs to go.
Or your warlord just moseying on over to the home objective.
Yeah,
Nothing to see here.
Building in the back when he's really just a guy who doesn't do much.
Oh man, Shadow Sun's redeploying.
Well, I mean,
that sucks.
Yeah, it's gonna be real. It's gonna be real weird when like a weird boy that's a warlord goes YOLO swaggins in your back.
And I'm going to assume things that have the ability to redeploy because of this will probably get a little more expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe not on the first push, but on the second, I would almost guarantee it.
Well, I mean, if you're auto scoring things, I mean, a couple people have brought this up. Yeah, I mean, units that can just recycle and stuff like that,
Yep.
and just immediately go into your opponent's battle, zone. That's going to be very hard. Everybody can screen people out until it's turn 4 and 5. You know what I mean? If you have to do this,
I mean, it's a lot of go for it. And if your opponent goes secret mission, in your head you should be going, all right, I need to do everything to score the most primary I can at this point. And then you're also forcing your opponent to play a little bit different. There's a lot of nuance to this that I like.
There's going to be this weird deal where you let your opponent score 21 and then you put the hammer down.
Will WTC like the no chilling rain? Probably not.
Well, it's possible that the tournament packet still has it, right? Like they don't have to use the special rules.
WTC does what WTC does. They make their own mission rules.
They are in bed a little bit with GW, seeing GW sponsoring their event. So I would assume there's going to be some conversation had.
God damn it. Don't you dare touch my GK. How can I torture Brad with paladins to hit us? Goddamn paladins just sitting with flamers going, you should move. No.
All right, let's see what else is there. Because there are a couple other changes. Mission rules, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, just no chilling rain.
Let's talk about this. I mean,
but there are some cards that allow to be able to shoot in action, to do actions in combat, to allow battle line to come in reserves turn 1. I think that one's actually pretty good. If that's a common one.
In their Twitch.
Think about those. What battle line units? The only one I could think of off the top of my head really fast was gargoyles, because I just did a deep dive thinking about that. Was like, what has deep strike? That's battle line?
Strike teams. I mean, basically anything for Hypercrypt or Grey Knights, because you can just pick them up, put them down.
Hey, Deathwatch might get play.
Well, no, you have to have.
Sorry,
you have to innately have deep strike, right, to come in on turn 1.
Correct.
Does it say that?
Well, no, because it has to be a battle line unit, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say what innately has deep strike, not using strats or anything like that.
Yeah, that's true. Custom
I just don't see how common that's even going to be, because it's so easy to screen shit out.
For some armies, it is. Some armies, it's not.
That's forcing a play, right? If that's in your mission and you have one of those units, you can kind of go, yep, I'm going to put those in reserve, and they're going to be like, God damn it, he's bringing them in on turn 1, and that might slow somebody's deployment down. That might slow somebody's movement down.
I mean, if you could get 200 points worth of stuff, I might just take 2 breacher squads on foot and just put them in reserve and have them come on turn 2.
Yeah,
because then you're in your backfield, and I'm like, all right, well, I can be 9 inches away from you. My gun's 10 inches.
Armies that don't have forward deployers too. You know what I mean? You got to think that if you forward deploy against like League of Votan, well, they got their new army, their new unit coming out, so you'll have to take that, because right now you could literally just put your infiltrator and go, I'm deep striking right here on turn 1. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, these rules make the Kurtz attachment even better. Hopefully they go down to points.
Yeah, I think the new missions with what little information we currently have. I mean, we have some. They've shown some when they announced Pariah Nexus, and what we've heard today. It's a positive step forward in the game to change up what has become. We've been playing these missions for a year. I like change. Let's see something new. Let's have some fun.
God, I've been saying that for a while. You know what I mean? I wanted a new mission packet, period. Mission packet, by far, is the most changing thing that you're going to get, because it is different rules for all factions. So, like, one book, it makes a change in the meta. New missions make a change for everybody. It just explodes the meta. and I'm happy for it, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And I'm actually wondering which ones they're taking out, cough, cough, besides kicking the soccer ball.
So it's limited to 200 points. So if the Harlequin, Troop, and Falcon are less than 200 points, then potentially.
You can't do it with the Falcon because the Falcon's actually not a dedicated transport. It's a vehicle that you can get in.
Correct.
But
I think it's too many points, anyways.
But I think it's specific. If what I understood by the way he interpreted things right was it's just a battle line unit. When you have that transport in reserve, although there's a battle line unit in it, it's not a battle line unit. I think it's specifically going to be the unit itself has to be battle line. We'll see if they
could be a dedicated transport though, because the dedicated transport gets all the rules for the battle line unit.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it's worded because do attached characters count?
Yep,
they've got the rule. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see if it's battle line unit without a character, if it's battle line unit without a transport. Well, we got to see it to be 100% clear.
I mean, Green Tide coming in like that's going to be really annoying.
Yeah, I mean they can already jump, so it kind of just already exists.
So, do we want to talk about Genestealer Colt or do we want to talk about Sisters?
Let's do Sisters first.
Sisters.
Right. Sisters is definitely more interesting. So they have 4 detachments.
You know, is that penitent engine thing worth it? Do we have enough penitent anythings to make that worth it?
So you got the penitent, you got the penitent engines, right?
Yeah, the Mortifier, the penitent engine, the Repentia, and the Arcoflagellants.
Right.
That's it, right?
Currently, yes.
I mean, you don't know what else we're going to get new, but that's kind of a lot of stuff already, you know what I mean? You already see Arcos taken all the time, and you see Mortifiers taken. You don't see a ton of penitent engines, but, you know what I mean? Dude, basically starting the game, think about you're on Search and Destroy, and your opponent gets +3 to move with all of their shit. That's real, man. You know what I mean? Like, you're already 13 inches away, and you're just like, hey, my army's about to get +3 to move.
So the detachment rule, I think, needs a FAQ, because it doesn't say you may choose one of these. It says you choose one of these. So does that mean you have to choose one turn 1? What if you don't want to choose?
So I would use it in the same variant of what they've done with the Tyranid one, where it's you pick one every battle. You may choose to pick one every battle.
Yeah, they'll clear it up.
But Space Marines says you can choose.
Well, it has to be Ken, because otherwise they only have 3 of them, and it's a 5-turn game. So.
Yeah, I'm just saying it needs a slight FAQ, because right now it implies that you have to choose one turn 1, which would be a bummer because it's not always a good thing.
I mean, this thing hits pretty hard, man. It's got fast movement. Absolution Battle strongs too. You know what I mean? +1 attack, +1 strength. It's basically it's a WOG. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as somebody that uses the WOG, it's pretty strong. You know what I mean? It's legit.
We also don't know if they're going to change the data sheet for Arcoflagellants. They might not have the trigger exterminus keyword. They might not have sustained hits in combat anymore.
This is another thing that, like a WOG, is going to be huge when you go second a lot, because choosing Fight on Death is going to be pretty big when your opponent's about to, either you're already in combat or your opponent's about to make a bunch of combats against you. You're like, yeah, it'd be super cool if I just fought on Death on a 2-up. Seems legit.
That seems really strong.
I've heard a lot of rumors about bringing it down, so I won't say what I've heard, but I think that they know that that's an issue with vehicle units. So,
crisis suits given a free 20 points for bringing it down.
I mean, the crisis suits, Nundums, things of that nature, but they've already said that. That's one of the things that they addressed that they know was a problem in the past. They've already talked about it on their Twitch streams and stuff like that, that they know that that's an issue for vehicle units just giving away 1 million points. So I don't know how they're going to fix it, but I'm assuming it's just going to be less points for units, which I can get 100% behind.
So as I'm looking at what would be, because nothing has that keyword currently. So what is it going? Arcoflagellants, right?
Arcoflagellants, Repentia, Penitent Engines, Mortifiers. Those are all the units that are
missionary.
Penitent. Missionary is not a penitent unit.
Why wouldn't they be?
because they're
No.
spreading the gospel. They're not being
It's
punished.
all the people that are being punished. Everybody
Right.
that's either strapped into paint engines or has stuff jacked into them.
So to Repentia sister, the
Repentia,
Character.
the Repentia Superior, Mortifier, Penitent Engine, and the Arcoflagellants.
Now they might have it where
Anybody being
you could-
tortured.
they might have it where a character you can get that keyword with an enhancement or something, but I doubt it.
Just sure. I mean, nothing has that keyword yet, so that's why.
Yeah.
Would be new on that. I think this is, as long as they have enough stuff that has the candidate keyword, I think this detachment rule is pretty boss mode. Let's
It
talk
looks
about,
interesting.
let's talk about Purgation, because this is Firestorm, and I said that this was
The
Firestorm.
bringers of the flame.
Yep. And I think that this is straight Firestorm, and you liked it more than Firestorm. So it makes all the weapons assault, which is good. And it gives +1 strength if you're within 12. I mean, they back that up with a pretty badass enhancement. So,
Yeah.
and
The-
yeah,
While the bearer is leading unit, add 1 to the strength characteristic of Torrent, or 1 to the attack characteristics of Torrent's weapons, and all other ranged weapons have sustained hits 1.
that's legit, man.
So good.
I mean, that's crazy good. You're like, hey, who's the best leader? And they're like, this girl.
Yeah, but it depends on which characters could join which units. Because there's a lot of units that you would want this to be a part of. Like, I would want it on the Paragon Warsuits, but the only character that can attach is Morven Val. So they'll never have this.
Sure, but
So
like
what-
if I put it
So
on
what
a-
units might have it? You might have it on Seraphim, a unit of Retributors who has no
Retributors.
rerolls.
I mean,
The
having
Dominions?
extra shots, having sustained 1 on my Meltas or having +1 on my Flamers seems legit, man.
Seraphim would be pretty solid though.
Yeah,
mean,
Seraphim.
because
I mean, you have that new Canonus
I mean,
with the jump pack. So
also this.
I don't think it's as good as you think it is.
I think it's pretty
Just because of the sisters units that it's going to be attached to.
So you don't think this? You don't
Fucking
think this
Andy.
on Seraphim isn't going to be good?
I mean, at least they're strength 5 flamers, but they still have random amount attacks.
+1 though.
It's still just. I mean, you're getting extra and everything. You know, you put her in a big squad. It's just +10 shots and Flamers and/or sustain 1 everywhere. I love this strat. Righteous blows, and lethal hits is just legit. The
Mhm.
fact that they gave an entire paragraph to say that you get a battle shock also makes me go, I don't care. Stop trying to make battle shock a thing. Accept the fact that it's not a great mechanic and move on with your life.
And then we've got the Army of Faith.
Meadow,
it's
you're
a
correct, but
swordist unit.
there's no way to give Retributors currently rerolls to hit. That's the problem with it. But you can use Miracle Dice.
So sacred rites for the Army of Faith. Each Adeptus Sororitas unit in your army can perform up to 2 acts of faith per phase instead of just 1.
Legit.
Seems real good.
I mean, also it's got the Blade of Saint Eleanor, which has been
Well, they
proven-
changed it.
Yes, but it's still good. Improve the strength and AP of characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons by 1. And those weapons have precision. In addition, each time the bear fights, if 1 or more enemy models are destroyed by these attacks, you gain a miracle dice. I'm super okay with smoking a character and getting a miracle die for doing it.
Yeah.
Seems like a good weapon.
And then you
And
can
the
partner
strat
with
seems
Divine
pretty good
Guidance
as well.
too. It's the same thing.
I'm just, I mean, that's just a good weapon, man. You know what I mean? +1 attack, +1 AP. It's legit. And you get another miracle from it. You're basically going into this whole mix. And then you've got Divine Guidance, which is, you know, any Adeptus Sororitas unit that can shoot or fight, which is a huge deal. I love strats that are able to be used in multiple phases. Till the end of the phase, each time a model unit makes an attack, improve the AP by 1. And if 1 of our enemies are destroyed, gain a miracle dice. You know what I mean? So you're just churning miracle dice up.
And Divine Guidance on Heavy Flamers I still like so much, but that's just me.
Oh, the Castigator. You can have the Battle Cannon being Ignore Cover AP2.
Yeah, I mean, this is legit, man, and it's on.
And it also
anything.
forces Battle Shock tests. Brad's favorite.
You know, Oh no, no Magni Battle Shock. I'll only ignore it when it's my command phase. It's just the dumbest mechanic for me. You're like, oh god, something happened. It's crazy. I'm battle shocked. And what was that? Okay, no, I'm fine. Let's just go ahead and
Hey man,
continue on with our day.
I've won multiple tournament games of battle shocking people in my turn.
That's true.
I have done the same thing, so I can't say much. I like Battle Shock.
KR, I'd like Battle Shock a billion times more if it just lasted longer. KR makes a good point on this. Divine Guidance is a battle tactic stratagem also.
Yep.
That's a huge deal. Because if you've got the ability to use battle tactics twice, make a battle tactic 0, making multiple units have AP1, a 1 extra AP is a big deal.
Yeah, I think they have to build it in though, because I'm not entirely sure if they have access to that right now.
I mean,
we got to see when the book comes.
Yeah, see what happens.
A week from Saturday when all the previewers get the books, we'll see what happens.
Sisters Folk, I feel that this, when I read this one, this was the one that I really liked. Just churning Miracle Dice up and the ability to use 2 per phase, or phase on a unit, just feels like you can put some combos together. I mean, you were already doing it earlier, you know what I mean? When we're using Catherine to spam stuff. Just dropping 2 6s on those melty units seems pretty good, you know what I mean? It's legit, especially when you just have damage. I don't know, maybe if I just hit somebody with the Blade of St. Eleanor and I go, you should die. I wish it was D6. But I like that detachment a lot.
Why won't Sisters be the Eldar? Because they don't have half the rules of Eldar?
Because we already fixed Towering and Mortal and Dead Wounds so that they don't carry over. Eldar came in and went, hey, is there any base problems with the rule set? And they went, hold on, I've got it for you. I'll be right there.
Here's every keyword, the things we do. All right, so we've covered Sisters, so we might as well move on to GSC at this point.
Do it. Can we talk about Skaven?
I mean, is Skaven into the 40k universe?
They should be.
They should be, but they're not.
They should be. But for now, as of today, they're not. So the GSC gave us the Xeno Creed Congregation. So the Xeno Creed Congregation, for each Acolyte hybrid Metamorph, and Neophyte hybrids unit in your army, while 1 or more character models are leading that unit, you can reroll advance and charge rolls made for it. That seems really good.
Depends on what you're bringing, but if you're bringing
a Magus, Primus, or Acolyte Icon Ward, that model has a 3-up feel no pain while leading the unit, which means less in trouble from precision.
Yeah. I like that a lot depending on how good their melee is. You know what I mean? So if you're coming in, if you can infiltrate the big boy unit, you know what I mean, that might be a real thing. That one seems good if they are good, you know what I mean? The hand-to-hand versions of them are good.
Yeah, if the metamorphs are good, that'll be very interesting to see how that goes. Yep. Then we've got the enhancement, Magus, Primus, or Icon Ward. Once per turn, when rolling a battle line unit for called Ambush Army roll, if the bearer is on the battlefield, you can re-roll the result. Not bad. Not amazing, but not bad. Yeah.
Well, instead of you get a rerollable 4+ or rerollable 3+. That seems pretty solid.
Yep. Vengeance for the Martyr. Your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase. After the enemy unit destroys a Genestealer cult character's model from your army, one of the Genestealer cult characters from your army is the target until the end of the battle. Each time a friendly hybrid metamorph unit model makes an attack that targets that enemy, reroll hit roll of 1. If the destroyed model was a Magus, Primus, or Acolyte Icon Ward, you can reroll the whole hit roll instead. Situational, but not bad. All right, so that one's kind of the kind of thing, but it depends on how close combat is, and of course all the other detachments. The Biosanctic Brood Surge.
Zoobs doesn't want to talk about GSC anymore.
That's because he's going to have to play against it. That's probably why. Only like 3 people started the army in the last month at the store, so they're going to be everywhere. It's going to be good fun. So their thing is add 1 to the charge rolls made for Aberrants, Biophagous, and Pure Strain Genestealer units from your army. In addition, each time a unit is selected to fight, if it made a charge move, Until the end of the phase, add 1 to the attack characteristics of melee weapons. That seems really good.
Also, yes, I like this one a billion times more. It feels like you're trying to do what the original, that the other detachment was trying to do, but just better.
Yeah.
+1 attack and +1 to charge. Yes, please.
Yeah. Especially with aberrants.
I mean, it's all the things that you're going to charge with. Aberrants, FH, Piercing, Genestealers. You're like, so all the things that charge, got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
then,
it depends. Like rerollable charges is better than +1 to charge.
But I'm saying the combination together, though. Yes, by itself, reroll charges. But if I'm getting +1 attack, I'll take any. +1 attack is such a big deal when you're talking about bringing, especially big units that the Genestealers bring. They're bringing 10 or 20 man units. +1 attacks for real. You know, that's a real big thing. And then you're basically, for me, I'm looking at it as +1 attack, and I also get +1 on my charges.
Yeah, and Gene Twisted Muscle, this is your thing for taking down your big targets that are kind of a sticking point for GSC, where they get the really tough units when they don't have lethal hits. You select an Aberrant, Biophagus, or Pure Strain Genestealer. Until the end of the phase, each time that model and unit makes an attack, targets a monster or vehicle, add 1 to the wound roll.
+1 wounds always good. Period.
Yeah.
It's against monsters and vehicles. Yeah, that's where you need +1 wound. You know what I mean? So it's legit. I love that. Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000 cents. So
Stimulated Biosurge, again targeting the units that this works with in your charge phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a unit declares a charge, if it's at the closest eligible enemy unit is selected as one of the targets of the charge, add 1 to the charge roll for each selected target of that charge, to a maximum of 3.
That seems pretty good.
it's really only does anything if they multi-charge.
Yeah. It's still good. No matter what, it's going to give you +1 to your charge. You're already getting +1 to your charge.
Sure.
So now you're at +2.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I think it's pretty good.
I don't hate it. Yeah, I mean, if you're multi-charging, because again, you're having big units, so you're probably going to in the first place. You know what I mean? So +3 to charge is legit. You know what I mean? I want to make Jackals great again. I want this. I want Outlander Claw to actually do something. I want Jackals to work.
Double the OC characteristics of Genestealer Cult Mounted and Genestealer Cult Vehicle models.
Big old bike units.
Yeah. In addition, at the end of your command phase, if 1 or more of your Adel and Jackal units from your army are within range of an objective marker you control, that objective marker remains under your control even if you have no models within the range of it until your component controls it at the start or end of any turn.
Sticky objectives, man.
Sticky objective at the start or end, not phase.
Yeah, I'm saying they don't clear it at phase, so it's a big deal.
Yeah, that one seems pretty strong.
Now, do you think the FAQ sticky objectives and taking them overrides this?
We'll
Or do
see
you think
when the new FAQ comes out. Right?
also this detachment rules way better than Ravenwing?
I mean, their strats legit, man.
Yeah. So along shadowed trails, any phase, just after the enemy unit ends a move within 9 inches of 1 or more of your cult ambush markers. Target 1 Adel and Jackal unit in your army in cult ambush. Select one of those cult ambush markers. You can set a cult ambush marker anywhere up on the battlefield that is more than 9 away. Blah blah. The normal.
Well, it's hardcore because they're basically saying instead of clearing the ambush marker, which is what happens when you get within 9, you instead deploy a unit there. So instead of
but only an Adel and Jackal unit can come up through that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather have my unit come out instead of an ambush marker go away. So
yeah,
all day long.
So that seems pretty good.
It's legit,
and that's what we got for GSC. It looks pretty solid. They look fun.
Did
you guys talk about the other?
No, we didn't talk about the Brood Brother Auxilia.
Oh no, that's right. I missed that one. That's
integrated
another
tactics. Yeah. So each time an IG unit from your army is selected to shoot, you can select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to that unit. If you do until the end of the phase, models in that IG unit can only target that enemy unit, and only if it's an eligible target, and that enemy unit is caught in overlapping fire. When any unit is caught in overlapping fire, each time a Genestealer cult model from your army targets that end unit with ranged is +1 to hit. I mean, it's basically crossfire built in, you know what I mean? So, legit. Also,
Yeah, but it helps with like mortars. It helps with
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's legit on that. So I do like it.
But they have to be within 18 inches, right?
Yes.
And
and invisible. Never mind.
So I'm like, after I was like, at first I'm like, I read that and I skimmed like we normally do when we first read something, and I go, that seems pretty strong. And then I'm like, reread that.
Yeah.
Within 18 invisible, I'm like, okay, so
Yeah, not
Lehman
nearly as
Russes become a thing.
Maybe.
Like I can see you putting Lehman Russes in the list and forcing them down somebody's throat to get this, maybe, with demolishers, and stuff along that line. I don't know.
The Shadows of Iron's actually good. It's the same thing. It's literally the same strat as before, but it's just you can basically bring on a tank. So, legit. I like this a lot. I also like the fact that it just happens immediately upon that happening. So it's not at the end. So they can't really screen it out. If they get within 9 of that ambush token, you just slam down the tank and on the unit. I don't know if I like these as much as I like the rest of them. I really like +1 attack and the +1 to charge. I really like the bike one, and this one feels
So does this mean you could take one of the big tanks and just put it down?
I don't know.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. We don't know what's
any phase.
There was restrictions on what they could take, though. Like, you know what I mean? In GSC guard.
I mean, they were taking Bane Blades.
Well, yes. If it's something that can be cold ambushed, yes. It literally says 1 IG vehicle from your army. You're just like, yo, bro, you got too close to that marker. Blizzow! Here's a Bane Blade. I mean,
it's just after me.
Some of these are legit, man. Also,
Getting a 500-point take back for 1 command point seems pretty good.
That's all I'm saying.
They've probably changed it.
So it doesn't seem like what you guys are saying. Any phase just after an enemy unit ends a move within 9 inches of 1 or more of your cult ambush markers. The target is 1 Astra Militarum from your army.
Yeah.
Select one of those cult ambush markers, which I'm going to assume it's one of the ones they ended within 9 of. You can set up that cult ambush marker anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from all enemy units and wholly within 6 inches. This is you can save a cult ambush marker.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like you can force an Astra Militarum through it. It's just the way it's read. That's the way it's written.
That's what I want.
It's save your cult ambush.
I'm bringing back a Bane Blade, bitches.
No.
Hold on, let me soccer toss this Bane Blade back on the board. Hoo-yah!
That is not the way it reads, unfortunately.
Well, it does if you don't read it very well.
This is true. If you don't read.
Also,
and I know reading's hard for you, Brad. That 3rd grade was a challenge, but
by the way, acceptable losses kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks because it's 2 CP for 1.
Yeah.
This seems like the worst attachment so far.
I think it's the worst attachment. If there's other people who are very happy with it, I think it's terrible.
I don't like it at all. I like
as
I like
a GSC as a GSC sometimes player. This is one of those detachments where I go, well, I wasn't taking guard with my GSC to start with. Why would I be taking them now? There's nothing here that makes me excited to do that.
And it does specifically say Brood Brother units can now only be taken in this specific detachment.
All I'm saying is both guys are correct. KR goes, Brad is allergic to Bane Blades 100%. And Lyle goes, I want to see Brad try to fit a Bane Blade only within 3 inches of an ambush token. All you got to do is balance it on the main cannon. That's how you deploy it.
Oh, it would totally balance on its butt. It's like 2 inches thick.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just going with this. The asterisks of how our Brood Brother units can only be taken in this specific detachment.
I think the other
detachment's not going to see tournament play.
No, but the other ones
there might be
look
someone
good.
Who does it. There might be a casual player who does it, but I don't see any of the top tier players playing this. I could be wrong. There could be other strats and other things in it that make it amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But as it sits today, I'm not thrilled with it.
I mean, these other ones just seem so much better. Strats seem better. The enhancements seem better. Just the base rule seems better. Either rerolling charges or +1 attack and +1 charge. You know what I mean? All of those sound legit. The bike one sounds legit even. You know what I mean? So I go with that too. Sticky objectives and good strats.
You say that, Matt, but they just released a brand new unit of Brew Brothers.
They did. They did the Brood Brother kill team. Now, could there be some rules for the Brood Brothers, or could there be some other stuff for them that make it good? Yes, absolutely. Just from what they showed us in this tease, not super thrilled with it.
Don't say that. You're gonna get busted on for the next 12 months like I did with the Eldar reveal.
I would, don't take this the wrong way. I would be happy to be completely wrong with this. I'd love for every detachment to be playable, every detachment to be super fun. We know that's probably not going to be the case, but if I'm wrong on this one, I'll accept it and take it. And, you know, I'm definitely not going to call it a B+ detachment.
No, I think the other detachments look good though, from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I thought they were good.
I do think that the sisters look spicier.
I think the sisters look a little bit better. I think they're going to be a little more, depending upon what they change in the data sheets, if they change any of the data sheets. And again, points are always a big thing that we go with on this. Once everything's revealed, then we'll have a clearer picture. But
my concern is they get to Tau treatment where it looks really good on paper, then the points come out. And then you're like, man, I just lost 250 points.
Matt, watching the Sisters Codex suck, dropping all the coding data sheets suck.
Well, I'm planning on playing Sisters here in a couple of weeks, so I hope not.
I really want the jump canoness to be the bomb.
Yes.
Because it just looks so cool. Like, I want Zephyrum and Seraphim to be good. I want that detachment to work.
I would
personally, I'm hoping it's good. Just hopeful for it because I like the models. Hate their flight stands, but like the models.
I still think Sacred Rites sounds good, man. Just basically having just a bucket of miracle dice seems legit.
Yeah.
What do you right now? You haven't seen anything else, Brandon. You are the Sisters player amongst us. I mean, I've played everything, so but I don't really count. But what if you were going to go just based off the? Obviously, we're going to see way more stuff, the data sheets, the rest of the strats, and the enhancements. Which one of these detachments brought joy to your heart, if any?
I think the one that I'd probably play is the one that gives assault weapons and +1 strength. The entire army, besides castigators and exorcists, has 18-inch range for most of their good guns, or 12-inch range. You have to be up in their face to shoot, and it just makes castigators more annoying, giving them the ability to get a little bit extra movement for assault. And just the idea of deep striking 3 squads of Seraphim at strength 5 flamers seems pretty good. So that's where I'm leaning right now. But it depends on the rest of the stratagems, the points, and if any of those units change. I would love to play the Penitent unit detachment. I just don't think there's enough stuff in there.
And again, we got to see what they give the keyword to.
True story.
Yeah.
Yep. It'll be interesting. I think that's an interesting detachment. I think that's going to be one that'll be tried quite a bit. We'll see where it goes.
You know,
it just makes like the Paragon Warsuits and Moraval way better because you can just pop down to 6 to auto advance, 6 inches, so they're moving 14 inches and being able to unload all their guns. Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, we got 5 minutes.
What's that? Nothing to see here. I'm just dropping a 40K lore cats Discord link into there. And then, of course, check out the 40K Lorecast page. And just check me out on Spotify, iTunes. Ask a dude walking by with a pair of headphones on. He'll probably tell you where to get. It works out. Also, already looking into artwork. And I'm definitely getting objective markers done with 40K lore cats on them.
That's great. And of course, we have upcoming the Salt City GT, August 9th, 10th, and 11th in Syracuse, New York. 7 rounds of 40K using, of course, all the new missions and all the new rules. It's going to be a good time. Please sign up. The earlier, the better, because the closer we get I have another game system begging to come in because they think they can sell like 20 tickets. So of course,
What game system is it?
Star Wars Legion wants to come in. So
Oh.
I'm more than happy to have them, but I would like to keep the room open right now for 40K because that's my main love. But we'll see. The boys did announce a date. You'll be seeing tickets going on sale for that. I'm going to assume tomorrow, Matt. I'll have information out tomorrow, I think, on that one.
So no date yet?
See, still getting that Eldar hate. Corey coming in with, you heard it here first. Start painting your guard GSC list. Brad said it's bad, so rule the metal for 6 months. Screw you.
All right, so we have a couple minutes left. What change do you think is the most interesting and exciting that's happening in the next 3 weeks?
Missions. I mean, missions for me are such a huge deal. Points are points. They change all the time. Missions change very infrequently. I'm going to couple that with them stating that they're going to clarify the actions and things. Anytime that they give us clarification on things, it makes everything just a little bit better. Anytime you can take out the potential to have argument on the table, it's a big deal. It just helps.
Yeah, I mean, my big takeaway is OC0 losing the ability to do actions. I think that's going to be very interesting for the meta because it changes up at least 5 armies that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, not even OC0, but losing it for having pistol weapons in combat or assault weapons, or like, I know full well I have certain weapons on my Tau models because I take advantage of being able to do the assault move in action, and now I can. And that's going to be a dramatic change for list building.
I'm trying to think of how many units are OC0 that are taken all the time that get the boot if they can't perform actions.
Nurglings? Nurglings you keep.
Nurglings are keep.
Crute Hounds, maybe?
I think they're already screens, though. You're going to... Obviously, the Biovore basically got sky hooked into the fucking closet.
Oh, yeah. The Biovore, unless they dramatically reduce its price, and I mean it's got to be dramatic, is gone.
Yeah, I mean that thing's super dead.
Does this make the Dark Angels attachment better?
No.
The one that gives OC even if you're battle shock?
No, it doesn't. that detachment still is terrible. And I'm sorry, DA. Also, I'm sorry, the Lion. We actually were trying to figure out. And we sat down at Rocky Top, and you were there for this. And we went, who's the most wildly overcosted character? And like, we just went, the Lion. Yeah, we know. Well, he at least has something he can do. Lion sucks, dude.
Yeah, I played against him. He died to Ghost Kill.
The Lion's not very awesome model.
Yes.
Great model, GW. Make the rules match the lore. Let's go.
Yeah, he's just some guy. Just
you got Magnus wreaking havoc, Mortarion doing some good stuff, and
you got, I mean, even non-Primarchs on there. You got Gaz and Abaddon, also who are infantry.
Can they just make them monsters to make me slightly happier? Oh wait, no, they're not going to do that. Can you just make Gilliman and all the other Primarchs who aren't a giant monster demon infantry? Please fix that. And please, by all means, make Outriders amazing, because I just wanted to get Brandon mad.
I love everything about this.
No, my guess is because they said it in the MetaWatch article that fast-moving battle line units will go up in points. Outriders are only battle line in one detachment. One detachment that no one plays.
Also, I love that Zoobs goes, Luther rebelled against the Emperor because of the cost of the Lion. He's bad. God damn. I really wanted the Lion to be awesome. Great model. Great book, by the way. Jesus. Such good lore. And then he's like, I am a trash factory.
Speaking of good books, listening to Prophet of the Law right now, the Gasgul Thraka book.
Yep.
Oh, it is so entertaining. I really enjoy it so far.
Got a good what's his face that's reading it. I love that guy.
Yeah, there's 3 people reading it throughout the book. It's actually really good. I really like the way they did it.
Yeah, like it a lot. Do a ton of audiobooks. Also, I do a ton of audiobooks that I have to listen to multiple times because a lot of times I go to sleep listening to an audiobook, and then you have to figure out where did I actually fall asleep to this audiobook. I gotta skim over the last 3 hours of audiobook to figure out where the hell I actually remember.
Does it cut off at chapters or nah?
Yeah, they do chapter per chapter, but the problem is that I gotta figure out when I
Fair.
actually fell asleep. And then a lot of times I'll listen to it back again and go, wait a minute, I totally heard this part.
So Zuber is saying that the Kingmaker is a really good book as well.
I haven't read that one. So I'm gonna get I've got a shit ton of downloads available for Audible. I got a couple stuff that was given to me. So I do have to download some extras. I have a bunch of tokens.
Nice.
Stuff and or things. Well, everyone, thanks for hanging out with
So-
us twice
Can I
today.
do
Oh, yeah.
one more little announcement thing?
Sure
So
can.
this is a hobby based thing. Starting in July at the art store, I'm doing an artist box. We are taking items that I use to paint and things that I use on a frequent basis, putting them in a hobby box. It's going to be about $300-ish plus worth of stuff at retail. That's going to be like a $65, $70 box. Watch for it. I'm going to send probably one down to Brandon, and we'll do one on stream where we kind of try stuff out and go and
Nice.
play with it. It's going to be fun.
That'll be a lot of fun. I got plenty of crew to paint. I'm currently in the process of building 60 crew as we're talking.
Yep.
Andy wants to
And
know
yeah,
if he can buy it
we'll be
online.
able to buy that online. It'll be up. I'll have links everywhere. I'll talk about it and promote it. And it's also going to be a limited edition. There'll only be 25 of them available, and every one of them is going to come with a painted termagant. I will be I'm currently painting up termagants for every box, so everybody will get a piece of my hive fleet into their collection. So
I'll put that on my display board. I need a single Tyranid model for my display board.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And again, we're going to, because I had the question, to get a hold of me for help you with your play, oldmanbrad40k@gmail.com.
You know you forgot the K in your email.
God damn it. Ah.
And that's part of being the old man, Brad.
Ah.
Old man Brad 40. Is that your
Son
birthday?
Of a bitch.
Is that your birth year, Brad?
Ah. That's where my mind projected itself into. Look,
And of
man.
course,
I was
and don't
online
forget, if you
twice
come
today.
to the Salt City GT, Brad will be doing a class the Thursday before the GT at 8 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And he's going to be running for tons of stuff through that. Brad's fantastic to do it with, so it's a good time.
Thank you, sir. I do love it.
and when is the Salt City GT?
August 9th, 10th, and 11th. So his seminar would be on the 8th. So you can sign up for that right there at the event. Hand Brad's a few bucks and, come on in.
I love that I put that wrong. You know what? Me not being able to do things right is definitely how we end this stream, my friends.
Perfect.
Queens wave us out of here, everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.